Good evening and welcome to Poland Daily News. I'm Nicholas Richardson. A citizen's candidate, not a party candidate. This is how Dr. Karol Nawrocki was introduced by the Civic Committee, on behalf of which he will run in the presidential elections with the support of Law and Justice, the largest opposition party. Although he has so far become known as a historian, manager and director of the World War II Museum in Gdansk and the president of the Institute of National Remembrance, he now also has presented a programme for the development of Poland. What is Karol Nawrocki's vision for Poland?
Poland needs security for our identity. It is security that is the foundation of Karol Nawrocki's plan for Poland. Today, a presidential candidate, in his youth an athlete from Gdansk, blocks of flats. Karol Nawrocki was born on the 3rd of March 1983 in Gdansk. He practiced soccer and rowing. However, it was not sports but history that became his life's passion. I come to you through the time of intellectual work, hundreds or maybe thousands of books, the University of Gdansk, and trust me, I did not take a selfie when every single day for 5 years I took the tram from Gdansk Siedlce to the university. This was my normal life. I did not need to take a selfie. Nawrocki is a graduate of the Institute of History of the University of Gdansk. He began his professional career in 2009 at the Institute of National Remembrance, IPN, where he served as the head of the branch office of the public education in Gdansk. From 2017 to 2021, he was the director of the World War II Museum in Gdansk. Since 2021, he has been the president of the Institute of National Remembrance.
Karol Nawrocki nie jest.
Karol Nawrocki is not a politician. He is simply a statesman, a man who led institutions and showed that he is a great patriot, a good organizer, and a tough man for difficult times. Why did Law and Justice bet on supporting a citizen's candidate, a non-partisan candidate, instead of betting on a member of the party? I think that the strategy of the People's candidate is very good. In general, we are dealing in Poland with a very large oligarchization of politics at the level of what I would say are key positions. However, such a strategy carries risks. It's a risk but also an opportunity because that's the way it is in politics. That is, will it be possible in a relatively short period of time to introduce Dr. Karol Nawrocki and show his qualities and show that he is a recognizable politician and has an agenda? A program of building consensus and concern for food security with respect for the sovereignty of the Polish countryside and a tough response to mechanisms of unfair competition. Poland also needs agreement and concern in the area of energy security, a return to the thoughts of the late President Lech Kaczynski, and ensuring full sovereignty, including that of energy. He also wants development and continuation of investment. Poles faced concerted efforts to complete programs started before the 15th of October 2023. But is this a vision of Poland that will break through against other candidates? Please note what Trzaskowski said after that victory of his in the primaries. We will defeat Law and Justice, of course. This compared to Karol Nawrocki, who says that we are building Poland, unity, a great Poland that has some prospects. What Trzaskowski said sounded quite old-fashioned, to put it mildly or poorly. Only things to say about the Law and Justice Party. Does he have a chance to win? He has strength. We just need to bring them out of him. The main trump card is supposed to be that Karol Nawrocki has never been a member of a political party, and this means that he puts forward concrete proposals for all Poles, and he is not driven by a lust for revenge against political opponents.
As an independent candidate, Karol Nawrocki will be able to focus solely on the needs of citizens. He announced that his first initiative will be to make hard-working Poles' overtime work tax-free, and the idea has every chance of being implemented. He himself comes from a working-class district of Gdansk and has achieved everything through his own work. Therefore, he knows the value of work.
The appearance of an independent candidate is a new quality on the Polish political scene. Karol Nawrocki recognizes those problems that have so far been overlooked. As a nation, we must finally make an effort to extinguish the war of Poles against Poles, because this is about Poland, not a war of Poles against Poles. Nawrocki's apolitical nature enables him to act across divisions. Usually, politicians divide society into electorates and formulate promises calculated for that. Meanwhile, Nawrocki makes the first promise to everyone, freeing hardworking Poles from tax for overtime earned. Poles work the hardest. According to Eurostat data for last year, we are suffering from exhaustion and professional burnout. At the same time, we are a society with one of the longest working hours in Europe. It turns out that despite the fact that this is an extraordinary effort, it is additionally taxed on top of that. Karol Nawrocki shows himself as a man who wants to be close to the vast majority of Poles, and in this he is undoubtedly, through his life path, extremely authentic, and this is his great strength. Nawrocki wants to change that. To save the welfare of hard-working Poles, I will come out with more legislative initiatives. The 20th century forced generations of Poles to work hard to rebuild our country. The memory of them was nurtured by Nawrocki as the president of the Institute of National Remembrance. It was only after the communist shackles were thrown off in 1989 that we were able to develop our economic potential. In recent years, Poland's economy has greatly accelerated thanks to programs such as the United Rights 800+, among others. Nawrocki wants to continue this pro-social policy. In recent years, we have dynamically shortened the distance of Polish prosperity in Europe and the world. This is what the chairman was talking about. However, the Poles have decided to change the government. Many of them thought it could be even better. They were misled, and it has gotten worse. Karol Nawrocki talks about fighting the establishment. He is anti-system and politically independent. As a hardworking man, he is well aware of the needs of society. Similarly, the American businessman Donald Trump, who represents the needs of the American people. Interestingly, both have made the same promise: overtime tax exemptions.
No tax on overtime.
Tax exemption for earned overtime. He is a man who is not from Warsaw. He is from outside the establishment. Intellectuals of all sorts or celebrities of various sorts. This has its own significance for the common person. There's a difference with Donald Trump because he's a wealthy man who was in the establishment, but he walked away from it. Therefore, this will definitely matter as well. According to experts, Nawrocki's promise to exempt Poles from the overtime tax is feasible because overtime is described in quite detail in the labor code. Introducing the provision would mean improving the lives of 43% of Poles, because that's how many people work overtime.
This morning, a transport plane crashed near Vilnius airport. One person was killed and 3 were injured. Lithuanian officials point out that while it is too early to speak of an act of sabotage, Russia's deliberate action cannot be ruled out.
CCTV images clearly show the aeroplane approaching the ground, and just before impact, the pilot is still trying to bring the plane up. To no avail. For another shot, a fireball can be seen lighting up the entire area. One of the pilots was killed. 3 other crew members were taken to hospital. The plane is completely destroyed, and cargo that was on board the machine is scattered around. The police are organizing a nighttime inspection of the scene and will conduct a thorough inspection of the entire area, in cooperation with the services responsible for investigating air accidents. The residents of the building may speak of real luck. After hitting the ground, the burning parts of the plane flew several hundred more meters to stop right in front of the building. All the residents, 12 people, managed to evacuate safely. The crash site was visited during the day by the Lithuanian president and the German ambassador. Decisive for clarifying the circumstances of the tragedy are the testimonies of surviving crew members and also the reading from the black boxes. All scenarios are being considered for now. As of now, I can state that there are no bullet marks, no evidence suggesting sabotage or a terrorist act. It appears that there was some kind of machine malfunction or failure on the plane. The results of the work are eagerly awaited by Western intelligence agencies, as today's tragedy is dangerously reminiscent of the scenario that US Wall Street Journal reporters wrote about in early November. Russia is suspected of plotting to send incendiary devices on US-bound planes. The article states that in July of this year, there were 2 fires at DHL's logistics centres in Germany and the United Kingdom. Electric massagers that concealed a flammable magnesium-based substance caught fire. Investigators have detected that the fires are part of a wider Russian conspiracy. 1 person has been detained in Lithuania in connection with the case. In Poland, the prosecutor's office, in cooperation with the Internal Security Agency, detained 4 people, while 2 others of Russian nationality are still being sought. sort. The charge by Polish investigators is that of committing an act of sabotage for the benefit of another state. Russia behaves like a model terrorist state and operates through fear. Fear is most effective, especially against democratic states, because it strikes citizens subliminally. The damage in recent days of telecommunications cables at the bottom of the Baltic Sea or the increased activity of Russian agents is supposed to increase these fears even more. This is a tried and true strategy of Russia, experts add. All of Russia's actions come down to bringing destabilization to the entire geopolitical system of mainly Western countries. Lithuanian investigators looking into today's plane crash are expected to release the first results of their investigation later this week.
A Pole has been recognised abroad. John Krzysztof, an American actor of Polish descent, has been named the Sexiest Man 2024, according to the American People magazine.
In an interview with People magazine, the 45-year-old actor admitted that he did not expect to win.
It's a false reality. That's not how I wake up usually thinking, is this the day that I'll be asked to be Sexiest Man Alive? And yet, it was the day. You guys did it. You guys really raised the bar for me.
Although John Krasinski was born in America, he has Polish ancestry. The Hollywood actor's great-grandparents came from the municipality of Bytoń in the Kujawsko-Pomorskie province. The actor himself is very proud of his roots.
Is John Krasinski Polish? Yes, I am. That last name is not Irish, and it is not fake. Can John Krasinski speak Polish? No. I can speak Polish words that are related to food. I should learn. I've gone and visited Poland and had the best time ever. If you haven't gone, it's pretty amazing. Krakow is one of the best cities in the world.
Prior to his film journey, Krasinski occasionally performed on Broadway, but his main source of income was working in a restaurant. At the time, he didn't know that the door to Hollywood was yet to open. He is an interesting filmmaker in American cinema. He became known for his role as Jim Halpert in the cult series The Office. It was there that he tried his hand as a screenwriter. Then he wrote a few episodes. This led him to Hollywood and gave us an interesting performance in the horror film A Quiet Place. A flirtatious deep gaze and a sassy smile can turn the heads of more than one woman. He is very attractive. He looks like a mature guy. He is my type for sure. I find him attractive, and I'm also a big fan of the TV series in which he played one of the leading roles, The Office. So hot. He is very handsome. For fans of Krasinski, we have some bad news. The actor is married to actress Emily Blunt for 16 years. They have 2 daughters.
I was in a restaurant. He was in the restaurant. Yeah. I was sitting with a mutual friend. This is our romantic comedy. This is it. Write it.
The title of Sexiest Man Alive has been awarded since 1985.
That's the news. Thank you for watching, and from me, it's have a good night and a better tomorrow.